Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Timothy, and on the channel we speak everything personal finance. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at another CNBC video about these young people that are just doing great things out here, making money and just doing amazing things. And I really enjoy these videos, and I've already seen this one, but I want to watch it on this channel so we can kind of see what to look forward to. Like, this guy's crazy. So the video's titled "I retired at 39 and live on 185K a year in Dubai." Retiring at 39 is a dream to most, but this guy literally accomplished it. And when you hear his story and how he did it, you're going to understand the sacrifice that it takes to actually retire early and the amount of money that you might or might not need to make. This guy is a killer when it comes to finances, so let's check it out.
Some of the biggest misconceptions about retirement is that retirement is not a destination. It's really a new phase of life, from making minimum wage and trying to save as much as you can and counting every penny to now being able to spend whatever you want. It's been a journey. I'm Jamal Robinson.
That's how you want it to be. Like, in retirement, you don't want to really restrict yourself. I mean, you want to definitely have some restrictions, but when it comes to retiring, especially at 40, you want to have a good amount of money. So you want to make sure that you have that number in your head of how much money you need, but then how much money would just make retirement perfect for you. How much money would make retirement super comfortable for you? And sometimes the number that comes to your head for just how much you need is not enough.
I'm an American expat retiree living off of about $185,000 in Dubai.
That's crazy.
I actually decided to retire at 17 years old. I was working at Taco Bell. Believe it or not, at that age, I was able to look around at the job market, and I didn't see a lot of people that were happy with work. I learned that it's really important to make sure that you're working and you have your own relationship with work and you're not doing something that you don't want to do. So in my mind, I always thought that it made the most sense to compress that amount of time in my life. And I set the goal to retire early at 45, which I wound up hitting 6 years earlier than expected.
You have to set these goals. Like, you can't just you can't just mosey on through life without goal setting. This one thing I'm huge on is goal setting. Like, I always have some kind of goal that I'm working to, and this guy found out when he was 17 that he didn't want to work forever, so he definitely structured his life so that he can retire as soon as possible. You're gonna see the job that he did. I'm sure a lot of you guys can guess, but it's a high-paying career field where I wish I would have jumped into something like this. But let's just keep checking it out. So in 2024, he left his job at Microsoft as an executive director of generative AI to retire early. You know what? Let's see how much a person makes at generative AI. It says $364,000 to $597,000 a year for Microsoft AI director. That's insane. I'm telling you, tech is literally one of the best career fields you can get into, and it's something that I really wish I would have did. I wish I would have got that computer science degree, but I wasted it on a criminal justice degree. I had a whole 4 years to get a computer science degree, and I didn't even think about it. So I missed that boat, but I could always go back to school, but I'm not. But it's just crazy. Like, these computer science, these tech fields, is the amount of money you can make is absolutely ridiculous. That is crazy. Making that much, accumulating $3.5 million by the time you're 40 is wild. Like, he had to be putting a lot of money away, but he also had to be making a lot of money.
The creek and just walk around and look at the boats and meet people as I walk. Two people surprised. Dubai is actually much cheaper for me than living in most of the major American cities I've been in. Dubai allows you to live the kind of lifestyle that you want to live, and it allows for a lot of different price ranges. Every month, I pay myself about $15,400 for the month, and
$15,400 a month is crazy in retirement. Like, I'm estimating, I have about 6 or 7 or 8,000. This man has $15,000 in retirement. Like, insane.
Of that $15,400, I wind up spending about $9,000.
He spends about 9,000.
Food, I definitely don't go cheap on. I typically allocate about $2,000 per month. I go out and eat a lot of times when I have friends or people that I can entertain. And
I love when they break down the spending or how much they make. So for rent, he pays $4,429. That is a lot of money for rent. But I mean, that's Dubai. I mean, is that cheap for Dubai? I don't know. I've never been. I don't even think I'll ever go to Dubai, but $4,000. And then for health insurance and wellness, for health and wellness, $2,840. Man, that's a lot of money. Food, 2,100. He probably doesn't even cook. And I would eat out every day, honestly. And then discretionary, transportation, 743. Wow. $12,000 in spending in December. But he's still paying himself $15,000. So that's still, he still has like $3,000 left over. And then the next month you got 15,000 more coming in.
And as far as home, I also cook quite a lot. December
So he does
was
cook a
a
lot.
unique month for me because I'm on a kind of expat private insurance. I had to pay about $1,600 out of pocket for some medication. My doctor's visits were anywhere from $200 to $300 a piece. So it totaled up to be a lot higher. When it comes to getting around for transit in Dubai, I'm a little bit sad about this as I don't have a car. I use a service here where I get access to a driver, and the driver drives me all around the city. So I pay my $400 to $600 a month and use that for transportation. The place that I'm currently living in is 2 bedrooms, and it's roughly about 900 square feet. It's right off the beach and in a premium.
Man, that's a nice apartment. That's how I would want to live though. If I'm gonna retire, I'm trying to live off the beach. Like as soon as I walk downstairs to the back, the beach is right there. Like as soon as my feet step from the property, I want to step into sand. And that's what this guy looks like he's doing. Like this is a retirement that I want. This is the kind of retirement that I want for myself. Just to have a location outside the US, somewhere I've never been, and then just travel throughout my retirement. Like this would be perfect for me.
Premium area for Dubai. And this place costs about $5,000 per month.
Mm.
How I live now is I'm actually spending a lot more than I typically would. My relationship growing up with money was definitely one of discipline. Without really consciously thinking through it, I chose to save a lot. Now, as I've been able to reflect a lot as an adult, also see where I had a scarcity mindset and maybe not a healthy relationship with money in the sense of I wanted to hoard it. Luckily, I've been able to graduate to a place where I'm much more comfortable. I've been opening up the checkbook and spending more.
And this is an issue that I've always had to deal with. Like I've dealt with lately. I've been getting a lot better, but it's more hoarding the money. Like early on when I first started making money, I didn't want to spend money anywhere because I just didn't want to I didn't want to lose it. And I had all this money in savings. And I didn't want to spend it. But my relationship with money has gotten a lot better where now I spend more money because I have budgets, because I know how much should be going to certain categories. So I feel more comfortable with spending money. And it's literally a skill to learn how to spend money. Like just how you have to learn how to save money, it's a skill to learn how to spend it and spend it healthily so that you can feel comfortable and satisfied at the end of the day when you look at how much you spent. So this guy, you can see he like, and it's crazy to think that how much money he made in order to save $3.5 million. He had to make a lot of money. You have a hard time spending, like you made $300,000 to $500,000, $600,000 or more in a year, and you have a hard time spending it, dude. I might too. I don't know. I've never made that much, but I don't think I would. I'd just be checks. I would definitely invest a lot. But I will be spending that money, I'll be going on vacations. I think that's where a lot of that money will go to, vacations. But a majority of it would get invested and saved because I do have somewhat of a scarcity mindset when it comes to money, just like he has or had.
Growing up, I didn't get much knowledge on money and investments and things that I'm focused on now. I think my parents, coming from lower middle and class homes, were more so focused on survival, as many people might be. My parents had worked pretty hard in their life, and I just saw the wear and tear that took on them. So I wanted to be careful to not be in a similar situation and have to work and just give all of my life source and energy to a job for the remainder of my life. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but those factors really contributed to me wanting to retire at an early age.
And some people want to work forever and some people don't, and that's completely fine. Like this guy, he retired basically halfway through his life. 40 years old. People typically die at like 70 or 80. So he retired. He worked half of his life. He's now retired. Until now, he retired at his half point of his life, and he's gonna be living his life outside the country or wherever he wants to live. Tennessee Tech on a full ride scholarship. Man. There it is, computer science, computer engineering. There is computer engineering. Like, if you guys are in school, make sure you get a degree where you're gonna make some good money. Like, don't go and get an art degree. Don't go get a degree in some field where you don't even need a degree. Like, I didn't even need a degree to be working in the criminal justice field. Like, I don't need it. I could have got my job without a degree. I could have got my computer science degree, or my computer engineering, whatever, and still be working the same job I'm working, but looking at other jobs and kind of having the qualifications because I have the degree to kind of show that I know what I'm talking about, or I know what I'm going to be doing, or I know what I'm doing. Climbing up corporate ladder.
Climbing up the corporate ladder was not easy, but I definitely aggressively climbed up the corporate ladder. I moved to Austin, Texas, worked at this amazing startup called InfoChimps, and made a lot of great connections there. And that accelerated me into tech, which later led to IBM, Amazon, Intel, Microsoft, and a few others.
All the big companies.
So I always kept my eyes open for new opportunities, also made sure that I was as valuable as possible. And I would say my salary went from about $40,000 to about $60,000 to about $64,000. And then that's when I had one of my bigger jumps.
Increasing up to $727,000. Dude, making that in Texas, I mean, you're buying a mansion. That's almost $1 million a year he made. I think he ended up making $1 million a year. That's so crazy working in tech. The 9-to-5 job is still alive. It's not all about entrepreneurship, but you just have to be in the right 9-to-5. You have to be in the right career field to make some money like this. Like, you can still make great money working a 9-to-5 job. I don't know why people even think that you can't, but this guy made $772,000 working as a W-2, working in a W-2 job. And then to see where he started from 40,000 to 727,000, in a matter of probably 20 or 15 years. Wow. What a guy, right?
And then after that, I went to north of 1 million.
North of 1 million. He's so casual about it. Yeah, I just made a mil. Whatever. So he saves up 90% of his salary for each role to reach early retirement. 90% of his salary he saved.
So when I got the big jump, at most I may go out and get a meal. A lot of times I didn't even do that. I always remind people that in my head, I'm still the guy that's making a minimum wage working at Taco Bell.
So he always had this goal in mind of retiring early. So he saved 90% of his income. So the year he made $700K or however much it was, he saved about $630,000 if he actually saved 90% of it. But you have to think he didn't make 700 every year. He worked his way up. So just continue to save, just continue to be at a certain savings rate, got him to where he is. And that's what it's all about. It's all about consistency and being consistent in saving. No matter how much you're saving, whether it's $50, $100, or $500,000, however much he saved, you have to be consistent. You can see compound interest begin to work. Consistency is key no matter how much you're saving.
We'll see these large salaries or ask me, hey, how did it feel to make over $1 million a year? I often tell them, I don't know, it felt like making not quite minimum wage, but also not like making $1 million a year.
Yeah, because he was saving all of it.
$1 million a year, and I would struggle to spend over $50 on an item.
Wow. That's so crazy. Like, imagine making $1 million a year, and then you don't know if you want to buy this video game, or you can't figure out whether you should buy this TV.
There definitely was a certain amount of money that I wanted to hit when I retired. Over the years that has changed. It started off in the low 1.5 million, then it got up to 5 million, then 20 million. And at some point I realized that with what I need in life, I settled on my number, which is around 4 million.
Yeah, you don't need much.
Some of the biggest misconceptions about retirement, or at the very least things that people need to know, is that retirement is not a destination. It's really a new phase of life. I want to maximize my life experiences and not keep saving money for the future. Part of retiring was so I could explore my hobbies more. And the hobbies that I have are typically in the space of creativity. I DJ in my spare time. I've always had a love for music. So
my question to you guys is, what would you want to do in retirement? What would be your hobbies? What would be some things that you want to do in retirement? Like, start thinking about it. Like, start dreaming about retirement. Because when you start thinking about retirement, you think it's possible. But if you never think about retirement, you're just thinking for today, you're never going to start saving for retirement. You're not going to think it's possible. You'll never think that you'll be able to retire at 40. But if you start thinking about retirement and start fantasizing about what it would be like to not wake up and to not go to your 9 to 5, to not, to be your own boss, so hopefully that will motivate you and to start saving for retirement, saving more than 20% of your income, because that's what it's going to take if you're going to retire early.
I've gotten older and got more aware of technologies that exist. I've gotten more into producing music and just playing around with sounds. When it comes to choosing where I live, I have a matrix of about 14 things that qualify safety,
This guy's
the amount of
calculated,
singles
man.
that they have as I'm still single, the population, how diverse it is, the government, how stable it is, the currency, and a few other things. And Dubai hit pretty high on that list. What I love the most about Dubai is the cultural
This
diversity.
guy has
There's
his
people
stuff
from literally
together.
all over the world. So immediately I was able to come and feel at home. On top of that, it's very centrally located. So I can travel to the US or travel to the East and check out various like Southeast Asian countries along with Australia. And then at the same time, there's just a lot to do here. As an American expat that's also Black, I would say my experience has been very different than what I'm used to. In America, you're typically identified as a Black person first, and then after that, you're an engineer or a janitor or whatever they want to label you as. And I would say that as I've traveled around the world, as soon as I open my mouth and people hear the accent, I typically get categorized with the rest of Americans. So quite often I don't feel my
Really
Blackness.
traveled around
It's
the
almost
world.
like you're celebrated and people will come up to you and they want to talk and engage with you. So I found that it's been, maybe for the first time in my life, a privilege to be a Black person, and it's been really beneficial.
Very
Overall, I
interesting.
find that I'm more happy and more at peace, and it's just much better here than where I was living before.
Looking ahead, best part. What's next? Heck yeah, I would too.
I do plan to travel in the very near future. I'm going back to Amsterdam. I'm also going to Bangkok, Thailand. I was thinking about checking out South Africa, and for various reasons, I'm going to head back to the US for a little while. And as far as what's actually next, I would say I try not to think in the typical term of what's next, as long as I can.
So that is that. This guy retired at 39 and is living on $185,000 a year. Now this guy really structured his life so he can retire early. Now, one of the biggest money pullers, one of the biggest money grabs is kids, and it doesn't look like he has kids. At 40 years old, he does not have kids, and it looks like he's not gonna go and have kids. So that is a big factor as well. Not having kids, not having kids. Saves you a lot of money because kids are very expensive. So this video motivated me to continue to save and put more money to my retirement so I can end up like him, maybe at 45 or 49. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to retire at 40, but this video showed that with the right career, you can retire early with a good amount of money in your retirement account. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.